Okay, hello everyone. Today we are here to discuss about the ICTs program at the la Universidad Pedagógica Nacional de Colombia. So we are Leidy Hurtado.
I am Angela Samboni. I'm also in the subject of ICTs, finishing the university. And
And I am Natalia Martínez.
So, well, I want to know how has your experience or your process been in the class of ICT or relating to ICTs program. So, Angela, do you want to start?
yeah, it's fine. Well, in my case, I think the experience has been a learning experience actually, at least in the theoretical part, because in this subject, I have the opportunity to learn about a lot of what it's takes, what it's the use of technologies, what implies the use of technologies in the class, regarding with the pedagogical aspects also in that part. Um, yeah, another aspect like the autonomy learning on the pedagogical constructivism theory. So in that aspect, I think that I have the opportunity to learn about the theoretical part of that. Um, Likewise, I think that we are exploring a lot of platforms, digital platforms like Spreaker, like Moodle, like the platform of the university. There is the open virtual. So yeah, it is a process of learning. I think that exists also a lot of things to improve, but yeah, I think we're going to talk about that in one moment. So yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for your comments. And what about you, Natalia?
It's been a weird experience because I think in the theoretical part, I've learned a lot, no? Because when I usually, I thought that talk about ITTs were just talk about the platforms and that, yeah, we can use it. But um, it has a lot of things like the autonomy and the responsibility that you have when you are using a platform or when you want to teach a subject using all these tools. So that is really important, and that is one of the things that I really like about this program. And also, it's kind of weird because it is supposed that we are kind of a generation like really attached to technology, but it's been really hard to use some platforms and to learn how to use and to create I don't know, like units to teach and classes. So it's been kind of weird, and but it has been great. It has been a really great experience.
Okay, so I relate with your experience because taking into account the theory and the practical aspect of this program, it has been in some way hard to articulate what we know or what we 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 know about the ICTs relating to internet or different platforms that we have used in this taking into account the pandemic, right? But at the same time, it's hard to understand that we have a responsibility and we have to be critical about the use of ICTs because it's not as teachers, but also as students and I mean a person, a citizen in general. So I think your experience is similar to mine. So I mean, this program has, I mean, this theoretical part for me has been really interesting and great because I have learned too much about aspects that I ignored before. So that's about my experience. So, well, continue with our program, right? We would like to introduce some concepts that we are going to discuss before. So let's go, Angela, please.
Yeah, as Leidy said, we're going to discuss the advantage and disadvantages of this subject in the university. But first, we want to point out some concepts since we are going to take account the advantage and disadvantages of the ICTs en recursos didácticos para el aprendizaje. So, yeah, the first is the exploratory part. So it says that it identifies the characteristics, uses, and opportunities that technological and audiovisual tools offer in educational process. That's the first. The second is the integrative part that combines a wide range of technological tools to improve educational practices, planning, and implementations. So this is regarding with the design and how we mix the platforms with our educational process. And finally, the innovative part that say that yeah, implies the uses complex or specialized technological tools to design virtual learning environments that favor the development of skills among students, along with the creation of learning communities and or networks. So yeah, that's the concepts that are going to light up our opinions about the advantage of disadvantages in ICTs. So go ahead.
What we think about this? Okay, well, taking into account what you have explained to us about the exploratory part, I think this program, I see this program in this university, allows us to approach or to interact with different platforms that offers a offer interaction between students, or well, among students and teachers, or students and students. So I think that is very great because we can create a kind of space when we interact with our students and we share opinions, thoughts, ideas, and etc. So I think taking into account your explanation and what we have done in ICT's programs, I think this is an advantage of this program. I don't know. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I'm agree. Actually, regarding to that, I want to highlight that with ICTs we can see how to implement the constructive learning, the constructive pedagogical tools, and the collaborative learnings, because it is really necessary to talk about to take in account the opinions, the knowledge, the practices that the other students and also the teachers have done during um, their process here in university first, because yeah, we are also students in our practices, starting this process of being teachers. So yeah, I want to highlight that at least yeah, if we don't have the opportunity to put in practice all this theoretical knowledge that we are seeing in the class, at least we are working together to learn and to create new forms of knowledge regarding with the educational process.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I think this subject is basically for us to explore all this new knowledge and all these new platforms, the tools, and how we can use this for not just our practices that is in the moment that we are now, but how we can use this in the future and how we can keep like getting better in the use of technological. So I think the exploratory part, it's really suitable because we are constantly learning by like the mistake that it also works a lot, and we are learning not just us as students, but we have seen in all that this process that the teacher can also learn in the process, and we can help each other. So we are exploring, and I think this is basically the idea of the program of this subject in the university, and I think it's great because we need this. We need to like broke the bubble about just like the copies and the books, and also know that we are going toward that these new generations that know a lot of things and need a lot of interaction with technology, with the others, with new information. So I think it's really great and important to do this exploratory part.
Yeah, I agree with you, Natalia, taking into account that we are going to teach a young generation that had or have been interacting all the time with technology. So we need to be able to learn from them, but also from all the things around us. So I think that is very, or is so fundamental in our practice as teachers.
Yeah, and regarding yes, and regarding with the disadvantages, what do you think? What do you think that are the disadvantages of the program in this part, in the exploratory part?
Mm, good question.
I think, for example, from my experience, I think that I don't know how long, in terms of time of years, this subject has been in the program of the university. Yeah, really, I don't know, but I think that this is a subject that it is also in a process of yeah, that the university it's doing and learning how to do and how to teach this subject that
Yeah,
feels
it's also exploring how to do it.
exactly. So I think that we are in a process of exploration that the university, the teachers, students are learning together how to teach, how to implement these new technologies, and also because it's really difficult. I mean, um, the technological world advance in really great yeah, food steps
Yes.
all the moments. So it's really hard in that part because that means that the subject have to actualize uh, all the time to implement the new platforms, the new apps, the new programs that are creating in internet, are creating the teachers. For example, with these tools like Teams, the pandemic, how to learn to use all the applications that have Teams, Zoom, Google Meet. So I think that part it's hard, and maybe the university is not advanced uh, as fast as the technological world does.
Yeah, you are right. And I think the university administration has taken into account this aspect only in the pandemic because it was completely necessary to do it, but no before the pandemic. So we are in some way we are left behind from technology. I mean, we can learn, but we are in some way left behind because there is too much to learn, taking into account, well, relating all the tools and devices and everything that we have to know in order to teach young generation. That's my opinion about this.
Yeah, I agree.
Do
I
you
agree.
have something? Ah, okay, okay. So we can continue with the next part.
Yes,
The I think it's the
Integrity.
the
integrative.
integrative.
So yeah, I think this
Yes.
part is
So, well,
related with the
about that,
last.
I think
Go ahead.
Yeah, what we have said. Okay. I think about this part is important to work a little further in order to articulate theoretical and practical components of this aspect related to, for example, how to address or to employ ICTs, devices, platforms, etc., in a rural area, for example, or in some urban areas that have no access to connectivity, to infrastructure, and everything. So I think this is something that must be taken into account in our program because it's part of our reality as teachers or as future teachers. So I think that's my opinion about this integrative part. And what about you?
Well, I think I agree with that because, yeah, we know that here in Colombia is really hard, everything that regards about the ICTs. And we've been through a lot of information about the corruption and the money. It's really hard for like all the places have the opportunity to have this. And the integration of these tools, I think that even here in Bogota, that we have all these opportunities and all the range to learn. It's kind of hard because if you now that we're going to the schools, we see that we don't even have the access to a computer or to a TV. So it's yeah, we can learn here about all the tools and the platforms, but how we're going to implement that in the schools, how we're going to implement that in our classes here on in a rural area or in another place. So I think it's something that we need to know and we need to learn in this program. Now they have to teach us not just like, yes, you can do that, but how you can do that if you are living in like if you are teaching in a really difficult context, like it's basically all the country. So yeah, go
Actually,
ahead, go ahead.
yeah, actually, about what you say, we can take a reflection about that because, yeah, we're aware that the university is learning, it's in the process about how to implement the technologies and the subject in our career, but at least I believe that in the process of reflection, as future teachers, we can say that the ICTs as program in the career let us to think how we can change in the future or how we can implement in the future these technologies. And I think this is really important because at least we are thinking, actually, right now, currently thinking how we're gonna do, how we're gonna implement that in our work. Yeah, because I think after the pandemic, it's like a gap. Yeah, it's like a gap before the pandemic and after the pandemic, and we say it is impossible to continue in the same way. Yeah, so right now it is mandatory to see how to teach and how to learn the uses of the technological and digital device here in Colombia. So I think that that's important to rescue about the subject and to rescue in the reflective part of this process.
Yeah, you're right. It's up to us to reflect on this topic and try to do something to change these situations in the country. However, I think it's quite difficult taking into account all the particularities, characteristics of each area or zone that where we will teach in the future. But I know perfectly is part of our practice, right? Pedagogic practice to reflect on the topic. So I completely agree with you in that part.
Yeah,
So I
exactly.
think
For
we
the
can
last part,
continue.
yeah.
The,
Mhm.
for the last part that is related to the innovative part of this program. So I think that for me, it was evident, or it is evident that this program allow us, or has allowed us to interact with theoretical documents or papers that, for me, have changed my mind in aspects related to, for example, student autonomy, and as well as creative and productive skills that can be encouraged or fostered in students using ICTs. So this is, for me, I think is, like a great part of this program, because it uh, allow us to think different related to these aspects. How can we teach or encourage our students to create something digitally? And they can share it online with their friends, with other kids around the world. So in some way, it allows students to connect their ideas with other people around the world or around their communities, and that's great. I don't know, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I think that basically use ICTs is to like become a really innovative country. Yeah, to help people, not just us as future teachers, but to help everyone to develop the skills, to develop the different skills that they have. So how to create something, and how to, I don't know, paste a video, an image, and how to use it for a forum. So it is really great, because yeah, it's like a little step for us to create this great community of this great learning community that use ICTs as a like a base for all the learning process. And I think that this is actually one of the like goals from the government now. When you see the Ministerio de Educación like goals, they want this like people to be innovative, to be creative, to be to have autonomy, and it's something that we can see in the program that we are creating, and we can teach it in the future. So I think this is a really great advantage. And no, well, yeah, that will be it.
Yeah. In my case, I don't know. In this part, I have like a inside conflict with myself, because I actually don't feel like, at least for me, I am innovative. Since we see the technological part, actually, I think that um, currently we have still a long path to walk. So I feel like that. I feel like right now I am making connections. I'm making connections between the autonomous learning, between the technological part, between the pedagogical approaches that we can teach and learn for our students. In that, um there will be a wave. Uh, but yeah, I feel in that way. I feel that I'm making connections. For example, my my work, my final work, in order to present a university to graduate it. It's regarding with science fiction, and actually the science fiction makes me think also about the future, also about technologies and how the technologies impact our lives. So I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking, my brain is like, okay, uh, we didn't know that actually, for example, I didn't know the relation between the autonomous learning and the English, the English teachers, and that actually are the English teachers who take the guide, and who take the how to say that, yeah, who
The lead.
take the lead to talk about autonomous learning. Yeah. So I'm learning. I think I'm learning, and I hope to still learning in order to implement that in future. I feel in that way.
I
Okay.
think teachers are always learning something completely new or different, or changing their minds about something they already knew about something, but now they say, no, that's in some way wrong. I'm going to upload myself, my thoughts about it. So it's completely normal in this profession, I think, this career. So,
Yeah.
well, about the last part of this discussion, we we are going to discuss about the changes that we can make on this program. I don't know, what do you think about it? For
Yeah,
example, I don't
yeah,
know.
I think it's important.
Yeah, about this
Um,
program, I think that is something that we've been like we've been being aware like all the course, but it has been a discussion like the last weeks, and I think that um the department must take into account that if they want us to like to be really aware about how to do a lot of things with the technology, they must put yeah, like to give the class to someone who has been prepared all his life to teach this kind of things, because it's really hard. Because yeah, we're saying that it's great that the teacher also explore with us, but it's really hard also for the teachers that haven't studied like take like ICTs for come here and say, okay, I'm going to teach you how to do all this while I'm learning too. So I think that can be one of the changes that the program could take into account. I don't know what you
yeah.
think.
Well, I agree with you. It is important that someone who knows or who is or have, I don't know, how studied about this aspect. I mean, ICTs, who um, would be in charge of this program. But um, something that is important to mention is that our teachers do their best
Yeah, no, no,
to
no.
be able to share with us, and it's okay. It's okay. I mean, that's something that is important to mention, the effort to be able to,
Actually,
I don't know, to
yeah.
teach us and explore with us, and it's a completely different kind of experience in some way, because I think of myself doing the same, no, learning, exploring with my students. That's a kind of different experience, and we can learn too much in this kind of practical um, a perspective or experience in general. I don't know if Angela wants to say something.
Yeah, in that case, for example, we can mention all the trainings that we are receiving from CIVNet, and how the teacher um, has do during since yeah during the semester, the effort to contact the CIVNet, to contact the people who knows how to um, eh, yeah, how to control, how to manage the platform, the virtual platform. And actually, regarding to that, I want to add that one of the things that I think the university can improve related to ICTs is to put more effort, um, yeah, focusing in these platforms, because are really important. I think that actually we can create a community in the European virtual, both for students and teachers. So it is great because I think in the last class we had like, oh my god, we don't know all of this, we don't know uh, how to use all these tools that are in our hands. But yeah, again, it's related with the use of technological tools, the technological devices. Like, it's in our hands, but the technological access is not only regarding with the computers or the internet or Wi-Fi. It's regarding the with how to use it. If you don't know that, if you don't have the training to do it, it is impossible. So yeah, I want to highlight
Right.
that in the last classes, we have learned how to use it, how to use Moodle, for example, in this case regarding with the UPenn platform. So that's
Yeah,
all.
I want to add something, and it's that we as students should know about CNET. I mean, in order to be able to ask for help or to ask something from them, because they exist in some way, but we don't know about them, right? And so we can ask about how can how we can access to all of this information, or see or from or whether they have courses or something that we can, I don't know, access to learn more about UPN Virtual or Moodle or any other platforms that the university uses. So I just want to add that. While taking this into account, I think we have shared our opinions, thoughts about ICT's program. I don't know if you want to add something more about this.
No,
It's
no.
okay.
Yeah,
It's all.
actually, I think we passed 16 minutes to conversation, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
okay.
think the same. So
I
we
think it's all.
we now
Mhm.
run off of time. So we are going to end this conversation, this discussion now. But we hope that we can do this again in another subjects or in another academic spaces, in order to continue reflecting in this on these aspects that are very important for our future careers. So thank you very much for being here, for
Thank you,
sharing your opinions, thoughts, and
guys.
everything. Thank you very much. See you
Okay,
later.
Thank you.
thanks.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Natalia. Thank you,
Bye.
Leidy. Goodbye.
Bye.